Welcome everyone, Joe with ECRM here at our Impulse session in Orlando. And with me is Andrew from Fresh Sense. They've had a lot of success with both ECRM and RangeMe. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well as some best practices that he's kind of come up with for his meetings. So thank you for joining us. And to start off, give everybody an overview of Fresh Sense.
Yeah, so Fresh Sense is basically, it's an air freshener, that's how it functions, but people tend to use it in the home more than the car, but they do use it in the car as well. So it comes in a 3-pack format or a 2-pack format, officially known as scented sachets, but kind of has the function of an air freshener.
Gotcha. And you have different types of merchandisers that you use for different retail spaces, right?
Oh yeah, we do. We've found that it's very important to have a variety of merchandising options for retailers because their needs are just so varied and so unique. And that can even vary within a chain. Like some stores, it makes a lot of sense to have a sidekick, and other stores need a PDQ, a bulk bin, a floor display, or just simply pegging the product in a planogram.
Okay, and some might use multiple, I'm assuming.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and where can you find your products? Where are you distributed right now?
Yeah, so we're distributed through the majority of specialty chain retail. That's kind of our bread and butter and where we got our start, but have recently expanded into the mass and then as well as some grocery and supermarket chains as well.
Okay, and that expansion into mass retail and grocery, a lot of that came from ECRM and RangeMe, right?
Yeah, it actually did. When we were starting out, kind of having an amazing track record in specialty chain, history of growing sales for our retailers year over year, and we had this awesome product, but we were trying to figure out how to get it to more people. And so through going to ECRMs, having these conversations with buyers, over time, these relationships formed and a couple of good meetings, and then we broke into mass for the first time and have grown significantly in that channel. Had to make tweaks to the product, so it was great insight for product development. And then also with office supply, that was another completely untapped channel that we had never had contact before. And then through an ECRM, those relationships started, and then it was off to the races.
That's great. That's great. And I hear that a lot. It's like sometimes brands, they'll get into channels they never expected. Like we even have catalogs. We have like paper catalog companies that still come, and people don't realize how broadly they're distributed, and there's opportunities everywhere. And now on the RangeMe side, you also participated in some immediate opportunities that worked out well?
We did, yes. We actually haven't had much success in RangeMe with buyers reaching out because of our page, interestingly enough. I think part of it's being a scented product.
You can't smell it.
But for the immediate opportunities, we've been very opportunistic with those and trying to submit, and then when we've gotten the opportunity to go to those, they've done extremely well for us, and yeah, it's been very, very effective.
And you landed a couple of big chains with that.
Big chains, yes.
That's awesome. But you bring up a good point on the RangeMe side because you're all about scent.
Yes.
So it's hard to really get. I think that's the one thing you cannot get through the RangeMe page is what it smells like. And I can tell you they smell great here. Some of them right in front of me, and the room does smell amazing. In fact, you've had to tone it down, right? So that it doesn't smell overpowering because they're so strong, and some of these are not scented, right? They're display only.
Yeah, if we had all live product in here, it would probably be a little bit stuffy.
Because one of these it's good for a room, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah, so
exactly.
We can't have 50 of these going at once.
No, absolutely not. But you bring up a good point about what it does to a retail space, because when you're in, whether even as small as a 10,000 square foot store up to a 200,000 square foot super center, really when you bring this product in, it does fill that space with fragrance, and it draws that customer in.
Okay.
And that's what we found is really the secret sauce to getting this product to move so quickly, is bringing enough in to have that scent be the magnet that draws the customer to the display, and then it's an impulse purchase from there, and they have a great experience and they come back.
Yeah, that's a good point, because like on the food side, we always talk about the benefit of demos, right? And sampling and getting
Same
that food
idea.
in customers' mouths.
Yeah.
So this is just getting it in their senses as soon as they walk in or walk by it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and it's just that's going to drive the impulse.
Yes.
So now on the at your meetings here, what is your recommendations? How do you approach your meetings?
Yeah, we've learned some lessons the hard way. We believe very strongly in our product, and we know most of the time that we can make it work for a retailer and really have it make an impact in their category. The problem is, even as strongly as you believe that, these buyers are going to 50, 60, 70 meetings sometimes over the course of 2 days. And frankly, if they come sit down at the table and you are aggressively pitching them on how you can help, it's well-meaning, but it doesn't accomplish your goal or theirs. And so what we like to do instead now, what we've learned is we just confront reality and say, look, you have 60 meetings, you're going to take a few relationships back that are going to be awesome, that are going to transform your business. I'm not sure if we're one of those. And frankly, even statistically, we won't be. Now, maybe this is a fit, and let's explore that. But, you know, no pressure, no harm, no foul. If this isn't the right time, we'll connect on LinkedIn. If something changes, that's fine. But that lower pressure environment leads to more honest conversations. And we'll get feedback of, hey, I actually really like what you're doing, but it's not a fit because of this. And a lot of times that's where the conversation ends. But sometimes, you know, we can help them look at it from a different perspective, or we can go back and say, oh, well, that might be something we could alter, or we can change, or we can bring a new merchandising option. And so we just learn more by having an honest and open conversation.
Yeah, and you know what? You said sometimes that's where the conversation ends, but on the other side of the coin, that's where it also starts. If it's something that you can kind of, you know, adjust or work with them for. So, but I love the no pressure approach. I think you have an advantage that when the buyer comes into your room, they kind of know what you're selling just when they take their first breath, inhale. They know what you're about, and so it's a little bit quicker for them to decide. There's not as much explaining of what you do. It's pretty self-explanatory. So you help them get to that point really quickly, and taking the pressure off, I think, is refreshing for them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So it tends to lead to much better conversations.
Yeah, and they appreciate that. And usually they'll know if they smell this, they get it right away. It's like, yes, we can do something. But then otherwise, you give them that time back, and they'll remember that too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we had one conversation. Brian and I were talking about a conversation. Our very first ECRM, we made a connection with someone. We weren't a fit at the time. We didn't have the product. We didn't have the price point. It was clearly not a fit. 3.5 years later, we got our first PO from them. And that wasn't through incessant follow-up or being nagging or being a pest. It was just keeping the conversation going in a way that made sense for both of us. And so, you know, it's painful to play the long game sometimes, but you have to do it, and it's totally worth it.
That's such a good point. I can't tell you how much content recently I've posted about the importance of patience and persistence, because it is a long game. You're not really going to get something from your first meeting, especially if you're a new brand. I mean, you guys have been around for a while, you're established in other channels, so that helps. But if you're a brand new, if you just launched something last year and you're meeting with buyers for the first time, nothing. It's going to take a little while, a couple of hits. One, they want to know that you're going to be in business next year. Right? So they're not going to, take a chance right away. But, like you said, stay in touch in a non-pressure way. Seeing them, touching them on LinkedIn, and then eventually that relationship builds. 3.5 years later, boom, you got something. So, but so that's awesome. Well, listen, thank you for the great insights, and congratulations on the success in opening up all the new channels.
Yeah.
And thanks for moderating the roundtable too.
Of course, my pleasure.
Thanks.